Included in these Zone A low-lying areas, there are 5 hospitals. These hospitals are now in the process of reducing their patient caseload in order to be ready for any increased emergency care that might arise. They are, for example, canceling and rescheduling elective surgeries. In addition, tonight, Coney Island Hospital will, under the direction of state health authorities, begin placing patients in vacant beds in other hospitals in other parts of the city. We're also notifying the other hospitals in these Zone A low-lying areas, as well as nursing homes and senior centers in these low-lying Zone A areas, that they must, I repeat the word must, evacuate beginning tomorrow and complete the process by 8 p.m. tomorrow night, unless they get permission to stay in place based on the ability of the particular facility to keep operating during hurricane conditions. If any of these facilities need help moving patients, we'll be able to provide it. That decision to not evacuate, should they want to make it, will have to be made in conjunction with City Health Commissioner Tom Farley and his staff and in consultation with the State Department of Health. Now, as many of you know, Dr. Farley is a veteran of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, where he headed community health services at Tulane Universities. And Dr. Farley will draw on a wealth of experience that he has in making those decisions. So let me just repeat that one more time. Seniors' homes and nursing homes and these hospitals must evacuate unless, in conjunction with Tom Farley and the state health commissioners, determined that because of particular facilities' location, their ability for backup power, access to them, that it is permissible for them to not evacuate. We expect the weather, incidentally, on Friday, tomorrow, to be very good, and that is certainly going to help everybody in carrying out this process in a safe and orderly fashion. Let me repeat, what we're trying to do is to take precautions for the most vulnerable. And as we get closer to the actual arrival of the hurricane, for the general public, we can decide what is appropriate. However, among the general public living at home, there are homebound people living in all of these Zone A low-lying areas. If you have a homebound relative or acquaintance in these low-lying areas, I strongly urge you to take some steps now to move them to a safer location, in your own home or in the home of another relative or friend. That will be the best course of action for all involved, and we're confident that in most cases, that is what people will do. New Yorkers are big-hearted people and always come through when the chips are down. And anyone who intends to use Access-a-Ride to temporarily leave their homes until the storm passes would be well advised to do that tomorrow, Friday, because capacity to do it on Saturday is limited by the number of Access-a-Ride vehicles. If you want to go to a shelter, the shelters will be open by 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. The staffs will start opening them early in the morning and work all day to make sure that they are ready to take anybody that needs shelter tomorrow night from 4 p.m. on. As regards to the general public, we will make a decision about whether to order a mandatory evacuation of Zone A low-lying areas by 8 a.m. Saturday, the day after tomorrow. However, we recommend that people start going to alternative locations if they have them because of potential traffic jams and mass transit limitations on Saturday that Jay Walder is going to discuss in a couple of minutes. So if you live in one of these communities and have a relative or friend you can stay with in a safer, less vulnerable area, you should think about arranging to stay there until the storm passes. Let me say something about outdoor activities planned in the city. This weekend, more than 300 outdoor activities, street fairs, block parties, and so forth have been planned. These activities, unfortunately, will have to be curtailed throughout the entire city, not just in the Zone A areas, as we want to make sure that streets are available for emergency vehicles and buses throughout the entire city that may be needed in any evacuation plans. We are revoking, and I've just signed an executive order to do so, all permits for events to take place in the city on Sunday and in low-lying Zone A areas on Saturday as well. If you are not in a Zone A low-lying area, you can have your activity continue on Saturday, but we have amended the permits that require you to stop serving the public by 2 p.m. so you can use the rest of the afternoon to clean up. The Mayor's Office of Citywide Events is in the process of contacting every organization holding a permitted street fair, block party, or similar outdoor event this weekend about these changes. And you will obviously have some information out about the Dave Matthews concert that's supposed to take place both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and a myriad other events. Because of the high winds that will accompany the storm, we're also urging all New Yorkers, for their own safety, to stay out of parks where the high winds will increase the danger of downed trees and limbs. And incidentally, that's a good idea to stay out of your own backyard if you have trees there. Before taking questions, let me once again stress some other precautions that city people should take. First, find out if you live in one of the Zone A areas, the low-lying areas that we've been talking about. And you can do this simply by going on the city's website, nyc.gov, and typing in your address, or by calling 311 and giving your address to the call taker, and they'll tell you right away whether you are in one of these areas. And second, New Yorkers should prepare themselves by stocking up on some basic supplies and making what's called a go bag, a bag that you take with you at a moment's notice if you have to leave your homes. And it should include things like drinking water, a first aid kit, a flashlight, any important medications that you take, essential documents such as passports or other forms of ID, and an extra set of car keys and house keys.
Stay connected with MyFoxNY.com mobile. Download the iPhone app or text Fox 5 to 46988 for other devices. Local news, weather, and traffic on the go with MyFoxNY.com mobile.